Alrighty, how's it going, guys? MrBrew99 here, and welcome to February 22nd's vlog, I do believe. Really lost track of my days, to be honest with you, but we are headed to biology now, so I'm just grabbing my stuff and heading out. We are going to head to biology, and we already had English and biomedical ethics this morning. English was pretty boring. I mean, it's English. What more do you expect from it? And biomedical ethics was cool because I enjoy what we're talking about in it. We're currently talking about the difference between euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide, which is pretty interesting. I do believe it was Cheese Wins. I'm not even going to try to comment on your My Hero Academia name because I always get it wrong. So it was Cheese Wins who commented that the video looked a little bit off, and I think that was caused by me not knowing how to use my camera. So I'm hoping I can get better at it. And the editing software that I used outputted it at 23 frames per second. I didn't realize that at the time. So hopefully I fixed that problem as well. And Marquise just snuck in here because like 2 seconds ago I asked if he was here and Dylan told me no. So yeah, so we are headed off to biology now, and I will see you guys after that. So see you then. Look at Dillian. He's leaving us. He's leaving us again.
I gotta work, dude. Dude, screw work, to be honest.
Yeah?
If it wasn't for work,
Look how messed up this fork is. It's like bent right there.
What were you doing? Chewing on it?
It was not for me chewing on it. I chewed on this, and that's why that fork piece is like sticking out. But that was not by me. That was by manufacturers. You got anything to say to the vlog, since you're not going to see them for a couple days?
Study for test and do your homework, because I have not done it yet.
Study for test and do your homework?
I got to do mine
tonight,
because it's due Saturday. So yeah.
Nice.
What are you doing?
I was accidentally zoomed in on your face, so this whole time was like super close up. Now it's
weird.
like, now it's actually like normal, but
Kind of weird, bro.
yeah. All right. Well, bye, Dylan. All right. So Dylan is leaving us. Cry, tear, whatever. Wow. Focus on my face, please. There we go. But I got lunch. They added so much barbecue sauce to this one, so kind of disappointed by that, but it's whatever. So yeah, I am headed to sit down at my desk and eat. I don't know why I said I was headed somewhere. I'm gonna go sit down and eat, and then as I sit down and eat, I am going to work on some chemistry homework, and then that is pretty much it. Then I got lab tonight, so this is gonna be good food, I hope. And yeah, so it's gonna be a fun time. This weekend I got nothing planned, just relaxing. I might go to a comic book store at some point and just see what it's like, because I haven't been to the one around here. Where I accidentally hit the button to stop the recording, wearing my D&D shirt, so you know, being my ultimate nerd. It's kind of like Good Mythical Morning, be your mythical best, be your ultimate nerd. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to sit down, enjoy my food, and I will see you guys later, probably before my lab and just like hanging out with people. But yeah, so see you then. Alright guys, it is almost 7 o'clock. I'm headed to my biology lab now. Today we're going to be identifying more chemicals that are in an unknown. I'll explain that whole thing afterwards because I don't think I've explained the whole thing yet. But I'll go through the whole entire procedure and why we're doing it and what our whole goal is at the end of it once I get back from the lab. I apologize for yesterday's vlog going up late. I meant to upload it before this class, but this class ends at 10 o'clock now, and I forgot to upload it. But I'm going to my lab now, so I'll see you guys after that. Alright guys, so my chem class took majority of the time, but I still wanted to break down basically what we did in that lab because I think it's pretty cool. So basically the whole idea was to identify what of the group 3 cations were found in our unknown solution, because we've done this now for 3 weeks, and the goal is to be able to identify the group 1, 2, and 3 cations in a solution. I'm using the gimbal, by the way. First time using it with this phone, so we'll see how it goes. So far, not so good. But yeah, so we're trying to we'll be given next week a unknown solution that contains group 1, group 2, and or group 3 cations, and we have to identify them, and so it's basically preparing us for that. And my hair is a mess. My lab took the whole time, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. That's why I'm doing this in the morning, because I didn't feel like drawing out the whole thing. I ended up drawing out a little flow chart basically to help you guys walk you through, and I'll show you guys like images throughout the thing that relate to what I actually did. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the explanation as to what we did for the lab. So I'll see you guys at the whiteboard. Alright, so here is our basic experiment laid out in a, yeah. So basically, we started out with our unknown solution. Well, in the first part of the experiment, we started out with our known solution, which did contain all of these things. We had iron, aluminum, zinc, cobalt, and nickel. In this case, though, our unknown solution contained up to 3 of these. So that was where we started. And then from there, we would then add in NH3, which is ammonia, NH4Cl, which I don't remember what that is, to be honest with you, and then thiocitamide, which then would allow all of these to basically bind with something that was found in it. Sulfur comes from the thiocitamide, so you'd have iron sulfide. I think it's sulfide. I might be wrong with the ending of it. And then you'd have aluminum hydroxide, zinc sulfide, copper or cobalt sulfite, maybe, nickel sulfide, nickel hydroxide, and then you would add in your HCl, which is hydrochloric acid, which then would actually basically begin to form a precipitate for you, and that's where you see these splits. Anytime you see a split, that means that most likely a precipitate was formed, and we then took one precipitate, or we then centrifuged it, brought the precipitate down, and then split the solution and the precipitate. The precipitate, if you guys don't know, is the solid that would form from mixing 2 liquids. So we will go with the left-hand side because it's shorter. Now, if we had any copper sulfite or nickel sulfide, again, I might be wrong about the ending pronunciation there, just because I'm bad with the ending pronunciations. That would be what would be in here. And in this case, I believe that this was actually the solid, but I can double check for you. Using my lab manual here, this is our lab manual. This is basically the guide that broke down everything for you. So as you can see right here, we would be washing the precipitate in step number 3. So that was the precipitate found right here. So we would take the solid from mixing these things together after we centrifuged it, and then this is where we'd be left. Any of the precipitate, basically what this means is that the precipitate was either cobalt or nickel. So yeah. So basically from here what we can get is that we then would add in HCl and HNO3, which would break down the sulfite in it, and basically then we would cook it out by boiling it in a hot water bath or just heating the solution itself, and then you would be left with just straight cobalt or nickel, and they are now cations because, yeah. And then from there we would add in NaOH, which is sodium hydroxide, CH3, CO2H, which I forget what that is, long name, and then DMG, which is another chemical compound that would then produce a rose red color, which would suggest, in my case, it suggested nickel. It didn't confirm nickel, but if you got a really rose red color, then it would confirm it. Mine was slightly rose red, so I couldn't tell, but we would get to the confirmation later. And then I did not have any cobalt, so when we added the NH4SCN to it, we did not get any blue, which means that we did not have any cobalt sulfur cyanide, which I do believe is what that technical name is. But that would be what our left side would be, the precipitate found after mixing all of these. So now let's move on to what our solution was, which was the liquid that we were left with at the end. So the solution would then have the possibility of having iron, aluminum, zinc, or nickel in all of their cation forms. We would then add NaClO, NaClO, my bad. Sodium chloride with oxygen added, and then we had sodium hydroxide and ammonia, which is NH3, and then we would then centrifuge it and then take the precipitate, and I forget which one was a precipitate here. Once again, I could look it up and see for you guys. Give me a second here. So solution would be in number 5. And then number 9, the solution goes in number 9. So basically, this would be our solution, which is found in number 9. And then this is our precipitate. So our precipitate, in this case, after adding those things, would contain iron hydroxide or nickel hydroxide, or it could contain both if we had both iron and nickel. We would then add H2SO4, which then would break down the hydroxide in it, which would then just leave us with iron and nickel. We would then add we would then split this. This was not centrifuged then. This was just split into 2 different test tubes with the same amount of solution in it, because the H2SO4, it also broke down the solid into a liquid form. So then we would add in KSCN, which would, if it turned a red color, would strongly suggest that there was iron in it, but in this case we did not have that. And then we would then add NH3 to the other one, which after then centrifuging it, it would form a precipitate that would be brick red if it did have iron in it. In this case it did not, which means that we could then add DMG to it, because if we had this solution, if we had a precipitate that formed, we knew that we either had iron or nickel, or a combination of both. So if we didn't have iron, most likely we would have nickel, but we would confirm that by adding the DMG. In this case, we did have it, and that is where we got that beautiful rose red color that I took a picture of, and I think I took a video of it as well. But this is what it looked like here. Alright, so yeah, that's what the nickel looked like. That would be confirming that we had nickel. Again, we were suggested up here that we had nickel, but now we confirmed it by adding more DMG and getting another rose red color. Now we'll move on to our solution that we had. In this case, it could contain aluminum hydroxide or zinc hydroxide by adding CH3CO2H, which is something with carbon dioxide in it, and then ammonia again. We would then have a precipitate and a solution, which then we would split. Actually, no, we wouldn't, because these were in, so no, this would actually split into 2 different test tubes again, with one having either aluminum hydroxide in it, or zinc zinc ammonium, something like that. But if we had aluminum, we could add CH3CO2H again, and then add CVT. And if it turned blue, then we knew that we had ammonia mixed with the CVT. CVT is like an orangish yellow color. It's another chemical compound that you would get. So then that would break down into that. So we did end up having aluminum, because we got this nice blue color right here. Yeah, so we ended up getting a nice color of blue, so we knew that we had that. And then the only thing that was left to test for was zinc, which by now we would know that we could confirm that we had zinc, because we didn't have any of the other 3, but we knew we had to have or 2, so we knew we had to have 3 because we know we don't have any iron by now, and we know that we didn't have any cobalt by now, so we knew we had to have nickel, iron, or aluminum and zinc, but we still had to test for it to confirm it. So we were left with zinc, ammonium, something like that. I really don't know. Again, I'm bad with names. We would add HCl and K4FeCN6, which is potassium iron cyanide and hydrochloric acid. And if we did that, we would get a bluish green color, which that would suggest zinc, but we want to confirm it because there are other things that could taint it. So we would add NaOH and HCl, which then would break down the color, getting rid of the color. And if we were to add the potassium, zinc, we would add the potassium, iron, cyanide again, and if it turned bluish green again, that would confirm zinc. I don't have a picture of that because it wasn't a very pretty color, and it wasn't like that any of the other ones that had a really nice color. But so yeah, there is our experiment all broken down into everything that you would possibly want to know. The other parts of the experiment were laid out the same exact way as this, just with they were all laid out the same exact way. This one actually went on 2 pages, but you know, that's whatever. But they were all laid out the same way as this to find the group 3 and group 2 and group 1 cations. Next week we'll be handed a test tube that has a unknown solution in it, and we basically just have to guess what, not really guess, but we'll use a process like this to figure out what chemicals are found in it. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see me break down some more of my labs, I definitely will. I don't mind doing it. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. It's fun to be able to explain it, because then I also learn how to, when you explain something, you learn it better. But yeah, so hopefully you guys had a great day. If you did, you know, that's awesome. But if you like this video, make sure you drop a like on it. If you want to see more videos like this, there is a playlist titled My Average Life, or you can click the video that is right here for yesterday's video, and you can click the video right here for a random one that YouTube suggests to you based on your viewing preferences. Yeah, if you want to leave a comment of some videos that you want to see, leave them down below. If you guys want to suggest things for MALcast, which comes out every Monday on MALcast Monday at 5 p.m., definitely leave them down below, because that helps me know what I want to talk about, because, you know, finding a topic to talk about for an hour is easy, but not one that everybody will like. So yeah, so hopefully you guys have a great day, and drop a like on this video if you liked it. Don't give me a thumbs down, because that makes me sad. So just leave a comment and tell me why you didn't like it, and I'll improve it in the next video. So yeah, I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Go check out all the links in the description below for all of my different social medias, places you can find MALcast, and other random things that I decide to throw in there. I have merch, so if you guys want to buy my shirt for some reason, you can go and do that. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Peace out.